What it is, though, is a new franchise. Like I said, the head coach going from location to location thing, I think is a good idea. I got to tweak some things about it so we actually have a fighting chance, although it'd be nice if a team wouldn't blow it in the playoffs. If you missed that, hey, you'll get to watch it at some point. That said, we're ending it a little bit earlier than scheduled because good friend of the channel, Snipe and Score, released his NHL 99 to 2000 custom roster that is out on Xbox Series consoles now. I put a video out about it. I still believe it to be, and the more I look at it, probably the best custom roster I've ever seen. I feel like Vasi does great work. Tactics does great work. I'm okay. I'm still really, really good at this. But yeah, what Snipe was able to do here was fantastic. And we are going to take control of a team in this era. That said, we do have the setup to do and everything before I'm like, hey, here's our team and all that stuff. So that'll be fun. First and foremost, we are down, if I am not mistaken, Snipe, to 28 teams at the time. 2 conferences, 6 divisions, and no salary cap as well. Not a bad way to kick it off, but no salary cap, which makes me a little bit nervous, but it is an alternate reality. And of course, at the time, there wasn't really a salary cap, so it makes sense. Hopefully in this reality, of course, absolutely in this reality, there will be no 04-05 lockout. So that's fun. Hooray for alternate history. In terms of ye old NHL schedule, and by the way, it is Snipe and Score Productions on the YouTube side of things, where he goes over this full deal as well. 82 games, and let's see. Let's make sure that we are properly set up for this bad boy. It is 20 interdivision games, 40 conference games, and 22 inter-conference games for the schedule at the time. In terms of the standings format, single overtime 5-on-5, meaning that ties can indeed be a thing. It is 2 points for a win, 2 points for an overtime win, 1 point for a tie, no point for an overtime loss. That's right, no Bettman points in this era. It's beautiful. And of course, no points for a loss. In terms of the NHL playoff qualification, we don't have too much to change here, except, oh yeah, we do actually, because it's conference. Playoff reseeding is a thing. No wild card round. The 8 teams make it. Tiebreakers stay the same as well. And then in terms of the playoff format, everything stays the same as it is to this modern era. AHL setup, it is 2 conferences and 4 divisions as well. If I'm not mistaken, that stays the same, of course, with the AHL teams that'll be factored into this, which is good. Again, just trying to follow Snipe's guide here as best I can. I wanted to do this off stream, but hey, it can serve as inspiration for somebody else to continue to follow along. You know? Fuck shootouts. No shootouts in this era, baby. The division games will be staying the same. No, they won't. I should drop it down to 20. Conference games up to 40. Same thing as the NHL, which is fine. Overtime, same thing for the deal. No point for an overtime loss. Fun stuff there. And then we get the conference-based playoffs with reseeding. And that is good to go there. So, beautiful. Playoff format stays the same. We march. We move. We march. We move. That much closer to having to reveal who the hell I've chosen. Or, have I even chosen anybody? I'll never tell. I'll never tell. That said, you know, when doing the custom rosters, again, Snipe always does the created custom teams that replicate, you know, what the look was at the time as best he can. I have been advised, though, to just primarily stick with the teams the way that they are. So I will indeed be doing that. So we won't have the Phoenix Coyotes. We'll have the Arizona Coyotes. I believe Snipe is the only exception to Winnipeg Jets. Am I allowed to put them as Atlanta? That's my one question. Am I allowed to make them the Thrashers, or do you still recommend the changeover and them being Atlanta? If you want to, but they won't have the unsigned players. How big of a deal is that for Atlanta? That's my question. It can't be a big issue for Atlanta, right? Because they didn't even draft Kovalchuk yet. So I can't imagine it's that big of a deal, right? Washington's in, Vancouver. Guys like Derek McKenzie. Oh, God, it's not too huge. Okay. Did Toronto have anybody made? It sucks because I don't want to miss out on anybody. It'd be nice to have like Toronto go back to the blocky as shit logo. There aren't any missing teams that I should be worried about out of the gates, though, right? Like, it's just going to be the 4 most recent teams, and they're just out by default, which is kind of nice that it does it that way. Cool. Well, I guess we will just leave the Jets as the Jets instead of the Thrashers, because I don't want them to be missing anybody, you know? It'd kind of suck if they were missing somebody. Okay. Well, that brings us to the decision. Eat your heart out, LeBron. This is the real decision. There's a justification for basically all 28 teams of the era. I have it down to 5. The first team I am considering, yes, indeed, my Boston Bruins. Primary reason, 20-year-old Joe Thornton. What would happen if we hold on to Joe and try to win a Stanley Cup with him on this team? It is something that many a Bruins fan have had nightmares about for a long, long time. So that is a potential option. Next up was Calgary. Similar story. What would happen if we tried to win a Stanley Cup with Jerome McGinley in Calgary? I hear you shout they did technically win in 2004. It was over the line, and you might not be wrong. We don't need to talk about the parallax angle. But winning a Stanley Cup with Iggy would be a lot of fun. The New York Islanders. The Islanders have 2 key prospects on their team at this point by the names of Zdeno Chara and Roberto Luongo. 2 players that would be traded away to other teams only to then subsequently meet in the Stanley Cup final in 2011. We all know what happened. What would happen if the Islanders kept those 2 players and built around them? We could answer that question. We have the San Jose Sharks. Very similar story to Boston and Calgary, and it's all about Patrick Marleau. What if we held on to Marleau? Could we reverse the Sharks' fortune and actually get it done? And then there is Winnipeg/Atlanta, who were the absolute worst team in this season. In the year 2000, the team in last in the West, Nashville, on 70 points. The team in last in the East, Atlanta, with 39. 39. I think all 5 of these teams really stand out as interesting options. And I am going to let the chat decide right here, right now. The poll is live. Chat, choose our destiny. Will it be Boston, Calgary, New York, San Jose, or Winnipeg/Atlanta, which again, we could replace Winnipeg with the recreated Atlanta look, which I wouldn't hate, just for the sake of realism there. Snipe, for these 5 teams, is there anybody else, any other notable prospects, or I guess I'd have to ask, like, all right, Washington, you know, I don't think we need to update their look, but I just wonder about the whole custom team option and who else we'd miss out on. You know, basically, like, who else has had a major logo change? And really, at the end of the day, it's just a logo change. It's not a big deal because most of these teams do have the jerseys from the time anyway. I actually do think it would pretty much just be like Toronto that I'd be worried about not having the old logo. Shout out to the 4 people who voted for the Bruins, but right now it is a 2-horse race between the New York Islanders and Winnipeg/Atlanta. So we shall see. Unless something changes here drastically, it'll be one of those 2 teams who are currently tied. If it stays tied, we'll likely do a runoff. We shall see. Islanders or Thrashers. Thrashers pulling ahead a little bit, up by 2. Will it be a win and a full rebuild for Atlanta? Some late votes for the Islanders. Ladies and gentlemen, call me Mike Milbury. We will take control of the New York Islanders in this franchise mode based in 1999, 2000. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Fair enough. The only thing that I think I'm going to do aside from that is, with all due respect to one Derek McKenzie, I think I am going to send the Winnipeg Jets to Atlanta, and that way it's at least a little bit more accurate in regards to what it looks like, right? Because obviously, like, Boston had a slightly different logo at the time, Calgary, Dallas, but for the most part, it's all the same. And Snipe's telling me it's Derek McKenzie, Garnet Exelby, and I think Rob Zepp that are lost because of this. Not a huge deal. So the Atlanta Thrashers are in, as Snipe recreated them as best he could. Obviously, the Ducks had a different logo too. But if we run into these teams in the playoffs, we can at least get more or closer era accurate jerseys. So not that big of a deal. But we know now, the New York Islanders, the friggin' Islanders, is the way that we are going here. It should be fun. Now, we still have a little bit of setup to do here in regards to renaming divisions, conferences, and all that fun stuff, which isn't necessarily fun. But custom division number 1, and actually here we'll rename the conference first, which will be Sub NHL. Yep, Snipe, you're right. I knew that, and I'm so glad you reminded me. I was just thinking that in the back of my head. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to fix something, don't I? So, all right. Really quickly then. Oh, God. Please tell me you have a guide on who to replace and who goes where for the AHL. I don't know what the hell the AHL looked like in 1999, 2000. I mean, I do, but I don't. I have to load that up really quickly. All right, there we go. So I got the list now. I got the list. So let's see. Detroit. You will be losing the Grand Rapids Griffins, and you will now be the Cincinnati Mighty Ducks. Or will you be? Because that's right. There were Snipe, who the hell does Detroit get? I forgot that they shared a team. And obviously you'd want to put the Mighty Ducks on the thing. And I'm not going to look at the video. They Anaheim and Detroit shared Cincinnati. Who the hell did you make instead? You made Manitoba. Not Detroit, but you made Manitoba for the sake of Detroit. That's fucking weird. Fair enough. I trust you. There we go. Manitoba for Detroit. How do you like that? The Hartford Wolfpack will be replaced by a different version of the Wolfpack. If you made a different version of the Wolfpack, I didn't even look. I think you did, though, right? You sure did. There we go. Hartford Wolfpack coming back in. Snipe loves being confused. I don't think so. I mean, that's the right decision, is to make a different version, because you can't have teams share AHL teams, even though in real life that absolutely happened in the AHL. Still happens to this day. The Laval Rockets will be replaced by the Quebec Citadels. So Quebec is in. Hello, Endurance M. How's your face? How's your sick New Jersey? Obviously, we'll get a different version of the Providence Bruins, but it will stay as the Providence Bruins. P. P for Providence. Hell yeah, brother. Let's see. Chicago. Chicago. Snipe, who the hell did Chicago have? Cleveland. Thank you. It's just easier to have you tell me than to look it up in the video at this point, since we're on the fly. So we are going with the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Vince, that's exactly how it happens. It's a nightmare. Let's see. Dallas. Oh my God, who the hell did Dallas have? Why were there so many teams that were missing? There were just teams that didn't have an AHL affiliate. We're going over to Michigan with the Michigan K-Wings. Some of them are IHL teams. That makes sense now. That does. And then the Toronto Marlies will be subbed out by the St. John's Maple Leafs. Shout out to St. John's and St. John. Oh, but Snipe had to put it as St. John instead of St. John's. Wow, but this will be full. Do they not have St. John's in there, Sniper? Or was that a mistake that you've probably been roasted for? That's the St. John Flames. Uh-oh. Where the hell are the St. John's Maple Leafs? Did you have to put Toronto then? I did see the Toronto logo. Did you have to go with Toronto? Was that what happened? I'm so confused. St. Louis. I missed it. I looked right at it. I'm the dummy. I'm the dumb one. It's me. Hi. I'm the dummy. It's me. Who the hell did Vancouver have? Vancouver had the Syracuse Crunch. That's weird. That's weird. Vancouver had the Syracuse Crunch. Fair enough. There you go, Vancouver. Oh, let's see. Good old Calgary had the St. John Flames, as we just discovered a minute ago. Yeah, Sniper said it took him about 300 hours plus to do this. So, let's see. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms will be replaced by the Philadelphia Phantoms, if you can believe it. It's crazy, isn't it? My God. My God, my God. The Ontario Reign. Snipe. Which one for LA? Do they get the low lock monsters, or is that for the Islanders? That's the big question. The big question. They do get the Massachusetts lock monsters. Okay. Imagine the disrespect. Lowell ain't a city in the game. The disrespect to Lowell. Ridiculous. Buffalo will get a different version of the Rochester Americans. Top Hat, I don't have a take on anything officiating related anymore with hockey at any level. It's just not worth the headache. It's not worth the headache. All right. Everything's looking good there. St. Louis will get the Worcester Ice Cats. Worcester. Fucking go Worcester. Also, Ice Cats, great name for a team. Great name. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, you will be shocked to know, will be replaced by the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. I can't believe it. Incredible, isn't it? The Bakersfield Condors, Edmonton's minor league team, will be replaced by, it's pronounced Worcester, the Hamilton Bulldogs. The old Hamilton Bulldogs. Kicking around still. Oh, it changed them, that's why. The Bridgeport Islanders will be replaced by, not the low lock monsters, the The Chicago Wolves. I wanted a cooler AHL team than the Chicago Wolves. Oh, well. Then the other Chicago Wolves, which, of course, in game is still Carolina's team. Snipe, who's Carolina's minor league affiliate in this reality? Just have you hop in Discord at this point. It'd be easier. Cincinnati Cyclones. There you go. I did not hit the Cyclones. I hit the Cincinnati Mighty Ducks. Fuck me. Why are there so many teams from the same city? What are we even doing here? Criminy. Ridiculous. The Colorado Eagles will be replaced by the Hershey Bears. Colorado and Hershey. As a partnership. That's friggin' weird. There we go. Hershey Bears kicking around. Then the other Hershey Bears will be replaced by the greatest team of all time. Rest in peace, my beautiful boys. The Portland Pirates. I miss them every day. Every single day. Phoenix ends up with the Springfield Falcons. Boo Springfield. Get your own fucking team. Why'd you have to take mine? Boo Springfield. Utica will be replaced by one of the best teams of all time, the Albany River Rats. What a team name. Boo Springfield for many reasons. That's true. Namely, it's Springfield. It's fair, Reaver. Let's see. The Belleville Senators will be replaced by the Grand Rapids Griffins, apparently. Interesting. Welcome back, Grand Rapids. You weren't gone for long. The Charlotte Checkers, who are currently with the Florida Panthers, they will be replaced by the Louisville Panthers. Yeah. Louisville. Louisville. Yay, Springfield, boo, Shelbyville. The Manitoba Moose will be replaced by Orlando. Orlando. All right. Shelbyville eats corn a long way. Them and their the lemons. The Milwaukee Admirals. I don't know what to do with Milwaukee. What do I do with Milwaukee? Milwaukee's replaced by Milwaukee. Well, I could have guessed. Christ. Throw a dart at a board. I would have been close enough. It's ridiculous. The San Diego Gulls will be replaced now, finally, by the Cincinnati Mighty Ducks. Third time's the charm for the Cincinnati Mighty Ducks to be a part of this. And the San Jose Barracuda will be replaced by another GOAT minor league hockey team from back in the day. The Kentucky Thoroughblades. They're not thoroughbreds. They're thoroughblades. So dumb. And then the Syracuse Crunch will be replaced by the Detroit Vipers. Fair enough. The Detroit Vipers are in. All right, so with that, we can get the other parts done. I'm not doing anything out of order, I don't believe, just in terms of reorganizing or anything like that. So we go back to the NHL side of things, and obviously, we will have an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference, as you do. As you do. Let's go over here. Get the old Western Conference. Although technically, shouldn't the West be on the left because that's the westernly direction? Ever think about that? You should have. In terms of ye old division, we need to have our Atlantic Division. We need to have the hilariously named to me. I don't know what it was about this division name, but it's just very funny. We need the Northeast Division. And our final division in the Eastern Conference. We need the... Oh, Cannon, I've done it too. Don't worry. We need the... Oh, I can't type. The Southeast Division. Beautiful. And then in the West. Shout out to Fred. 21 months from Fred. How the heck are you? Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. How the hell are you? We got the Central Division. We have the lovely Northwest Division. And, would you believe it, the Pacific Division. Would you believe it? Welcome in the Pacific Division. There we go. Beautiful. Now, obviously, we got to realign a little bit. So, in the Atlantic, we would like the Philadelphia Flyers. We would like the New Jersey Devils. We would like the... Oh, my God. I'm blind. I'm drowning. Help me. Pittsburgh Penguins. We would like the New York Rangers and our controlled New York Islanders. Boy, don't we suck compared to the rest of that division. The Northeast will be Toronto. We also need Ottawa. We need Montreal, Boston, and Buffalo. As the Bruins were in the bottom of that division, too. So no matter what, we were going to have a rough time. And then the Southeast. We need the Washington Capitals. The Florida Panthers. The Carolina Hurricanes. The Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Atlanta Thrashers. We're actually tied with the Thrashers in overall rating at a 79. So the Islanders really weren't a bad choice. And then in the West, the Central Division, we need the St. Louis Blues. We need the Detroit Red Wings, the Chicago Blackhawks. And then we need Nashville, and we need to move Colorado out. 4-team Central Division. The Northwest is Colorado, Edmonton, Vancouver, and the Calgary Flames, which means Arizona gets moved over. Bada bing, bada boom. You'll love to see it. That is the NHL looking accurate. And then we have the AHL to do really quickly with, you'll never believe the name of this conference, everybody. You'll never believe it. It's the Easter Conference. All hail the Easter Conference. And then, will you believe it? Can you possibly? The Western Conference on the other side. Insane. In the East, our two divisions. As we have the Atlantic. The Atlantic. And the greatest division name of all time. The New England Division. Beautiful. In the West, this is hilarious to me because remember I said Western Conference. We have the aptly named Empire State Division. Now you might be saying to yourself, the Empire State, that's New York. And the Western, yep. It's a good time. And also in the Western Conference, the even more aptly named Mid-Atlantic Division. The AHL is fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So in the Atlantic Division, Snipe, do you have a suggestion? I'm sure you do within the video. We have Quebec. We have the St. John Flames. We have the Lowell Lock Monsters and the St. John Maple Leafs. That is all that division was. Snipe, do you have a suggestion for the other three teams? IHL teams don't matter much as long as the AHL teams are in the right division. Okay. So I'll get people into the right spots at the very least. The New England division. We have the Hartford Wolfpack. We need the Portland Pirates. Where's Worcester? All right, Worcester's already there. Let's move them out and then move them back in really quickly. Springfield. Hello, Springton. And then the Providence Bruins. Beautiful. The Empire State Division, which is the Rochester Americans, the Syracuse Crunch, the Hamilton Bulldogs, the Albany River Rats, and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, who I am blind and could not see. Final division. The Kentucky Thoroughblades can go up top. We need the Hershey Burrs. Yeah, Hershey Bears. That makes sense. I was confusing them with Hamilton for some reason. We need the Philadelphia Phantoms. Just beautiful. The Louisville Panthers and the Cincinnati Mighty Ducks. So geographically, I want to see where it makes sense to put these teams. So we have Milwaukee, Orlando, Michigan, Grand Rapids. Wilkes-Barre was in the right spot, so that's good. We got the Cincy Cyclones, the Detroit Vipers, because New England's got their 5 teams. And then within the Atlantic, we have Manitoba, Chicago, and Cleveland. Right. So we got the Atlantic, the New England, the Empire, and Mid-Atlantic. And a big sneeze. And a big, big sneeze. Oh my god. I'm dying. Put both Cincinnati's in the same division. That's a very good shout. That is a very good shout. So yeah, we can move the Cincy Cyclones into a division with the Cincy Mighty Ducks. So that is good. They'll be in the Mid-Atlantic. Cleveland in the New England division. So that New England division needs 2 teams. None of which makes sense. The Atlantic division needs even more teams, which will make even less sense. So that sucks. But within the Atlantic division, there are 3 spots, and we technically have 3 teams from Michigan. So for me, it makes sense to put all 3 Michigan teams in the Atlantic to fill up those spots. So we will have the Detroit Vipers, the Grand Rapids Griffins, and the Michigan K-Wings in the Atlantic division, with the St. John Maple Leafs. I mean, basically the 3 Canadian teams in the Lowell Lock Monsters. Name it the A&M division, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good in terms of that division. Let's see. So the New England division needs 2 teams. The Empire State division needs 2 teams. And then that'll leave 1 team left for the Mid-Atlantic division. Isn't Lowell in Massachusetts and not in the New England division? Correct. Welcome to the AHL of the time period, my man. So we got Cleveland, Chicago, Manitoba, Orlando, and Milwaukee. I think it would make sense to pair Manitoba and Milwaukee and then Chicago and Cleveland. So it'll be Orlando heading to the Mid-Atlantic. They're already there, the Solar Bears. And then either the Empire State Division or the New England Division. What the fuck difference does it make? It doesn't make sense at all. We'll have Cleveland and Chicago in the New England Division, Milwaukee and Manitoba in the Empire State Division. I mean, what the fuck? It's not going to make sense. It's impossible. It's just not going to make sense. But there you go. That is the run through for the setup in terms of the divisions, having everything at least as accurate as you can get it to be. Again, if you do this yourself, you can replace the NHL teams. You will miss out on certain prospects, unsigned prospects being available, like I said. So that is the only reason why Atlanta will be the one team that we changed to get the more accurate look at the time, is because it was drastic between Winnipeg and Atlanta doesn't have too many good prospects that you're missing out on. But if you want the Sabres to have their proper color scheme at the time as the main logo, you can do that. Same with the Leafs, so on and so forth. But that is what it is. So is it a little bit time consuming? Yes. Is it worth it? 100%. Owner mode will be off this time because Jesus Christ. Computer trades can be on. Player morale. What do you guys think about player morale? I don't care either way. I really don't care either way. I'm just intrigued to know what chat thinks. Everyone's saying off. Fair enough. Quick and easy. Works for me. So there it is. The New York Islanders with the Chicago Wolves as our AHL team. We don't need to go back into custom league settings, but again, 28 teams. Turn off retired numbers. Noted. Noted. I meant to go over to quick settings as it was. So out of staff management, scouting, show potential, blah, blah, blah. We don't need fog of war on. Except relocation will be off. Waivers will be on. Trade difficulty will be on hard. Difficulty, I mean, put on superstar. It doesn't matter. Auto save, auto sign, fantasy draft, 20-minute periods. We'll keep injuries on for the hell of it. Or will we? Yeah, fucking injuries are stupid. Or are they? Yeah, we'll leave them on. Meet one. What's going on? That works for me. And then yield, advanced settings, don't really care. Blockbuster trades are fine. Scouting assignment, don't care. Retired jersey numbers will be off. Morale meetings off. Wait notifications on. Trade offer notifications will be off because now I can use Trade Finder again. Don't care about head coach firing. I'm going to turn generated prospect quality and draft class quality down to low because Snipe has obviously added in a lot of people for the first 4 years of the draft, and we want those guys to be the best as opposed to generated dudes as much as possible. Auto rotate's fine. Again, injuries, we'll see what we do with them. For now, we'll leave it set up like that. And then the final thing to do before we hop in, we'll turn up the attribute effects, turn down the game speed a little bit, and really drop yield injury occurrence. It's kind of ridiculous. We don't have a better setup for this, but hey, it is what it is. But there we go. It is done. It is ready. Our journey with the Mike Milbury-led New York Islanders is about ready to begin. God help us all.